Today I wanted to come in and share with you a little bit about the transformation process. We all go through this at different times, so this is where we need to be really patient, especially if you're going through it and your partner's not, or people around you aren't. They're not always going to be able to understand. But I wanted to come in and share with you what occurs when you go through a transformation process, what is happening to you, for what reason, so that you can have a little bit more patience with yourself and a deeper understanding as to what's occurring internally for you. So the transformation process is when we move into new frequencies, where there is always a moment where we need to be able to clear out the old. You'll always know when you're starting that transformation process because you get this stirring in you where you cannot take anything any longer. You need to have change. You're sick and tired of something in your life, and there is that immediate snap in your mind where you're just so convinced that something radical has to change. This is where we start awaken to the ascension process, which is where we start recognizing that we're wanting to elevate to new levels. So it requires us to go through a process of start clearing out the old. So we'll start noticing it could be a change that you want in a pattern, a behavior, a lack of action, a new process, a new way of being. This is something is stirring within you when this starts happening. And the immediate start is where, as I said, we want change, and that activates that motivation and that inspiration, and you dig deep and you're like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to create this change. I'm going for it. And you back yourself 100% and you just get straight, you dive into it, and you're like cruising through this whole new beginning of a new process for yourself. But what happens is once we've ignited that inspiration and motivation, we start moving along. And then all of a sudden we start getting comfortable with the new changes that are occurring. Then all of a sudden we hit this barrier. This is the area that I like to call the resistance area. Now, I really want to share with you this. Resistance is the gift, and let me share with you why. We usually attune to the concept that resistance means there's something wrong. In this case, it doesn't. What happens is you've started the process, you're all inspired, you're motivated, you're making all these radical changes, then you get really comfortable and you forget to keep implementing them because you just go through the thoughts and the actions to be able to just do something. So you're in the doing moment. The resistance area is where you need to be able to step into the beingness around it. So what happens is our soul and the universe will go, okay, you've learned these new things. Now I really want you to implement them big time. I want you to believe in them. I want you to strengthen this. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to provide you with amazing opportunities to be able to practice and install these into you. So therefore we feel there's a resistance, there's obstacles, or there's a block, and that's the kind of language that we use. So we immediately naturally tap into that mindset thinking that there's something wrong. This is the moment where you have got to be able to move through it. Now, I always say, not everyone manages to be able to go through the whole transformation process and get the desired outcome that they want, because they hit that resistance and they go, something must be wrong. It's getting really hard. I don't want to do this anymore. And this is this defining moment, the absolute defining moment, whether you make that commitment to continue along the journey you're on, working through everything that's been presenting with you, installing new beliefs, installing your strength within your own self, tapping into that confidence and being able to really radiate this new version of yourself. Or you choose, this gets a little bit hard, so I'm just going to, little bit by little bit, I'm just going to slip back into that old version of myself and end up where I started. And this is where that resistance area does become the gift, because it's the gift that your soul is giving you to say to yourself, you can do this. When we have certain aspects within ourselves like courage and strength, we don't use them on a day-to-day basis because there's no need to. But there are certain point in times in our life where it gets activated and awakened, and this is this very defining moment where that courageous part of yourself, that inner strength, that bravery, that conviction and commitment to your own journey and your own truth comes into play at this moment. So this is the moment that you dig deep into discovering these aspects within yourself. Your soul and the universe are not punishing you. They're strengthening you. They're helping you step into that warrioress, or that warrior within you, for you to be able to realize your own soul power. So don't underestimate what is being presented to you at this moment, because your soul and the universe are cheering you on. It's a matter of whether you're going to jump on board and cheer yourself through the hard times, because this is where you start to grow, because you'll start to notice there may be old thoughts that jump in when you get into this midsection. And this is that opportunity to go, you know what, I'm not going down this way. I don't believe in this crap. This is not the way that I want to be, and this is not the way that I want to do things. No, this is this new version that I'm working towards, and I'm going to give it everything I've got to move through this. You can't go around it. You can't go over it. You have two choices. You can either move through it or slowly slip back to the old and end up exactly where you started in the first place. And 9 times out of 10, you will revisit this situation until such times as you learn to believe in yourself, to move through the obstacles. And it's only at that given time whether we choose to make it harder than what it needs to be, or in that beautiful moment you start recognizing, my soul is giving me this opportunity to connect into these amazing aspects and resources within my own self that I can capitalize and utilize right at this very given moment to step into my divine beingness. And this, as you move through this, is how you come to the end and achieve your desired outcome. So believe me, there is this gorgeous reason why these things present themselves to you. They're not there to punish you. They're not there to make shit hard for you. It's you as a human that will do that to your own self. Choose the easier option, or the option. It doesn't always necessarily mean it's easier. But the more that you fight with it, the more that you resist with it, the more you're going to consume so much energy and then end up feeling depleted and defeated and slide back. Take a moment, remind yourself as a resistance comes up, and an old thought process, or notice yourself starting to slip a little bit back to the old. There's that beautiful moment of being able to remind yourself, this is the moment that I get to shine. That courageous, brave, incredibly inner strength starts to come out, and this is what my soul is revealing to me. I can do this. So it's really important that you tune into that internal dialogue. This is where you turn up the dials on affirmations and mantras to rewire your subconscious mind, to be able to go in and tell that old version of you are reintroducing it to the new through those affirmations, through those mantras, so that collectively your mind, body, soul, and spirit are all starting to vibe at the same frequency and move ourselves into this new level. Remember, uncomfortability is that moment where change happens. We don't grow if we stay in the same space. Uncomfortability, resistance is our opportunity to really enhance that belief in yourself. So I would love to hear your feedback on what happens for you, or how this video really deeply connects with you. So as always, much love, take care, and feel free to share this video around.